minutes can't be avoided, and I do apologize. But now you know I'm human. We all have our therapies and our health issues that we have to go through. And this is one that I have to do every so often. And then it kind of makes that little beeping sound to let me know that it's done. So hopefully we will be free for at least another 15 minutes. But just to warn you, it does go off every 15 minutes. So I apologize for that. Now, back to the calendar. We also have, we mentioned Eat Red Apple Day. Of course, that's self-explanatory. Then we have one called First President's Day, and I cannot pronounce this word. It's Kazakhtans. Kazakhstan's First President's Day. And that's a federal holiday, believe it or not. This is for the First President's Day in Kazakhstan, and it's celebrated annually on December the 1st, commemorating the conduction of the country's first presidential election after the fall of the Soviet Union. So how cool is that? You know, they recognize and they celebrate, their elections over there. That's really way cool. We used to be very, very boisterous about ours. We're not going to get into politics here, but I don't know. It just kind of feels like the country's kind of in a lull. Like, who cares who they elect anymore, because nothing's happening. That's kind of the feeling that's going around. And I don't know why this thing is doing it again, but we're going to go with it. So the next one is going to be National Hand Washing Awareness Week. Now, this is a health issue, and it's a whole week long. And, I remember way back when I was in school, and it still goes on now, where we would have to go through this little ritual, and we go into the auditorium, and we talked about health and cleanliness and spreading germs. Well, now, of course, it's more prevalent than ever before, considering all the health issues that we have going on now, especially with COVID. And, they're advocating washing your hands, and you sing the happy birthday song. And once you've sung the happy birthday song, you're done washing your hands. So apparently you need to do it. It says experts recommend washing your hands with soap and clean water for at least 20 seconds. So like I said, if you're not sure how long to do that, sing the happy birthday song to yourself. That should do it. The next one is going to be National Cookie Cutter Week. So this is, of course, a special interest, and they have all these different cookie cutters out there. They have so many more now than what they used to. Way back when I was a kid, for the holidays, we always had the Christmas tree and the bell and the snowman. And, we had of course, the regular ones, the triangle, the square, the circle, and you can make like little bulbs out of them and that kind of thing. But now there are so many different shapes that they've come out with. And I guess they've put this in a whole week simply because a lot of people give baked goods for Christmas gifts. And of course, this is the best time to do it. So you've got the whole week for the first, beginning December the 1st, to prepare the different cookies. Now, my favorite cookies I have two. Okay, so actually I have three now that I think about it. The first one is, of course, oatmeal raisin cookie. I love a good oatmeal raisin cookie, and I like it where it's crispy on the outside and soft on the inside. So when you bite into it, you get that crunch and that little crumble. And then as you chew, it's really kind of soft and chewy. That's my favorite. The same thing with white chocolate macadamia nut, of course, is another one of my favorites. That one, I just like it crispy. I like it crunchy. I don't like the real chewy, but because of that one. And the last one that I absolutely love is a good old-fashioned peanut butter cookie. And it has to be just like the raisin cookie. It has to be crispy on the outside and just a little bit chewy on the inside. I don't want it completely crispy, but I want just a little bit of chewy. I don't know about you, but you remember like way back in school when you would go to lunch and they would have these cafeteria cookies. Oh my goodness, those were the best peanut butter cookies in the world. I don't know, they were. And luckily, my mother, way back when, worked for the school system, and she started out working in the cafeteria. And she was one of the ones that made those peanut butter cookies. I think that's why I thought they were the best in the world. So, but it's National Cookie Cutter Week. So get busy making those cookies. And you are welcome to send me some. So now the next one is going to be Month of Giving. Oh, wow. Of course it's going to be a month of giving. It's December. It's the holidays. It's the Christmas spirit. It's the spirit when we are supposed to be thinking of everyone else other than ourselves, and other than just me, my four, and no more. And so and this is a special interest. It's just to make you aware that there are other people out there that don't have. I know that there are several organizations and several charities around the area and around the country that, and several individuals, which I absolutely love that spirit of giving. They come up with some of the cutest things to do. So let me tell you, my church and I we're all putting together these little groups of, socks and soap and toothpaste and toothbrush and just the kind of general stuff that you would find. And it sounds simple enough, but you would be surprised at how many people just don't have this, and especially the homeless. So if you are in a position where you could share love in that manner, maybe your family or maybe the people on your block could get together, and it doesn't have to be anything fancy. You know, the Dollar Tree has all of these items that you can get for $1, and sometimes you can talk to different stores and they will donate certain items if they know that you're planning on donating them to charity. If you go to a store and say, hey, I'm looking for a charitable donation in the manner of something that we can give to the homeless, you know, even if it's a pack of crackers so they can have a snack, or, you know, a pair of socks or what have you, that would be something really, really wonderful to do. Think outside of yourself and your family, because there are so many other people out there that don't have. And this, I'm going to say, is probably my favorite of December the 1st. This is a top-notch cause. So the month of giving, making you aware that there are others out there besides you, your four, and no more that could really use some help. So here's the next one. National Drunk and Drug Driving Prevention Month. And this one is another one of my favorites, simply because in the month of December, right around the holidays, a lot of times people tend to indulge more than what they normally would just because it's the holidays. You have all these holiday parties where people are, drinking, having a good time at the party, but then the hosts are not being very responsible and they're letting the people leave, or the people are just leaving and they're going out and causing such havoc and even devastation to another family. So just be aware, if you are one of those that are hosting a party, back when I used to host, and I haven't done it in a couple of years, but back when I used to host, I used to make everybody give me their keys. And they couldn't leave my house. So we'd have people piled up, making pallets on the floor, because once you came, you were not leaving, because I wasn't sure if you had a drink or not, but I wasn't going to be responsible. So you were staying at my house for the night, and you could leave early the next morning, and if you stayed a little bit longer, I may even cook you breakfast, but you weren't leaving that night once you came, because the parties were fun, they were live, and I couldn't keep my eye on everybody to see who was drinking, who wasn't, who was having the most drinks, or who had just a little. So everybody that came to my house knew it was a rule. Once you come, you're there until morning. And, when you came, I would take all the keys and I would put them away. Nobody knew where they were. And when you got ready to leave that morning, I would get your keys and you could go on your way. And I think that's a responsible way to do things. That's the way I did it. Now, whether or not everybody wants everybody to stay at their house overnight, that's something you'll have to work out. Maybe you can, if you have a bartender, you can tell the bartender a 2-drink minimum. Some people, that's all it takes. Maybe you can tell them, mix it with a lot of water or a lot of juice or something. I don't know. But that's something that you will definitely want to talk about when you get ready to have your holiday parties. The next thing that we have is Worldwide Food Service Safety Month. Now, this is a food and beverage program awareness, and it's for cooking healthy and safely. The biggest thing that we have to worry about when we're cooking, and that's anytime, is salmonella poisoning or cross-contamination. So if you have cooked meat, you don't want to set it in the same place as where you had raw meat, vice versa. If you don't wash your hands, if you don't clean your food, like rinsing off your vegetables or even your meats. This is a big one. I rinse my meats. I call it washing them, but I rinse my meats, especially chicken. Number one, because sometimes when you buy chicken out of the store, they don't always pick the feathers out of the chicken. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to be eating a piece of chicken or a chicken leg and it still have feathers in it. So I always clean my chicken. A lot of people don't. It's funny. I'm not going to call this person out, but let's just say I know someone who just pulls the chicken out of the pack and cooks it. They don't bother washing it. Now, their thought process behind this is that you don't wash ground beef. Well, they have a point there. However, ground beef is a little bit different, I think, because it's all ground up. So if I could wash it and it not fall apart, I probably would. But for a whole piece of meat that's been sitting